Carolinas
to your corner of the world.
We're spinning the dials on DX Central Live.
Now here's your host, Lloyd Van Horn.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to DX Central Live, a special version of special edition, special session. I haven't really figured out what I'm going to call these yet. These little one-offs that I do like this. We're doing a live DX session this evening, though, here in the shack. We're going blue-green. This code blue-green. All the color behind me here. We're going to try out some things here. Why not? Speaking of trying out some things, you've probably seen my post over on Twitter, twitter.com/DXCentral. Or if you're coming from one of the Facebook groups, the AMDX Facebook groups, maybe you saw where I posted, have a new toy in the backyard. Expanded, upgraded, enhanced, improved my 12 by 48 foot KAZ antenna. 22'x70. I got a whole video in the works, the construction that talks about it, how it was going to be a 22'x65, and then we ended up expanding it. So be on the lookout for that. That'll be coming in hopefully this week. But in the meantime, we're going to test out this new one, because tomorrow we're going to put up the other one. We're going to put up the northeast-southwest wire into that 22'x70 configuration as well. But tonight we have a chance to do a little comparison, a little play off of the two antennas that are up right now. 12 by 48 KAZ in the northeast, well, actually in the southwest configuration, 250 degrees, and then the other KAZ, the 22'x70 at 170 degrees. So we're gonna test those out tonight, right here on DX Central Live. So let's get right to it, live AMDX session. And we are going right to the Display 2. We are running our Jaguar Pro software, and we are firing up the Perseus, and we're putting the two KAZ antennas through the Langford Mizek phaser. And we're going to try out some DX tonight and see what we can capture targeting Latin America. It's that time of the year. You know, I'm always very much kind of focused on Latin America as my main kind of, you know, obviously transatlantics and trans-Pacifics even are very enticing, and, you know, you want to try to get those. But there's always been this fascination that I've had with Latin American DX, South America, Central America. So I always kind of am looking for Latin American DX at all times, and especially in the summertime for whatever, I don't know if it's whatever it might be, but during the summertime I especially kind of have a an increased focus on Latin American DX. So that's what we're going to try out tonight. We're going to be looking to Latin America on this southern wire and then comparing to see what the two antennas are hearing. Now, right off the bat, obviously this is not going to be an apples to apples comparison. We're talking about a 12 by 48 foot versus a 22 by 70. So obviously the 22 by 70 is going to have more gain, is going to have more signal, and possibly a little bit more noise if it's picking it up that way. They're also oriented in different directions, so what you hear on the south wire probably not going to be the same thing you hear on the southwest wire. There's going to be times where you hear some of the same signals, maybe at different levels. Sometimes you're going to hear completely different signals. So that is right off the bat acknowledging these are not apples to apples comparisons that we're making here tonight, but just want to kind of demonstrate for you and see what we get here on this southern wire. Now, if you are following along with us live right now on YouTube and you are part of the live stream, got some folks who've joined in right now, feel free to fire up your radios and do some DXing with us here tonight and tell us what you're hearing in the comments or the chat area. I'll be watching the chat area to see if there's anyone having, any luck hearing anything on your side. If you have a request of somewhere you want me to tune around to look for, feel free, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to do that. And we're going to try to demonstrate a couple of techniques tonight as well as we're doing this live DX session and tuning around. So let's get right to it. Let's start with Latin American DX. Let me go to a known good frequency. This is kind of my go-to these days, 1090. It's kind of a beacon frequency for me. This is on my southwest wire. That's on my southern wire. Again, I know this is not an apples to apples comparison. I know. Southwest wire, 12 by 48. We have KAY in Little Rock, Arkansas. We also have some IBOC hash, probably, I'm guessing, from TIC in Hartford, which is right here. Oh, maybe not. From TAM? Might be TAM. But we have KAY in Little Rock, Arkansas on the southwest wire. Over on the south wire, no sign of them. Appreciate you got the tube and let us know they're enjoying the antennas. Thank you. So am I. We're putting up the other 22 by 70 tomorrow, so I would anticipate another live session either tomorrow or Sunday, sometime this week, another live session to try that one out and do a comparison. So 1090 though is where we're sitting right now. Again, if you're at home DXing along with us, feel free, fire up your radio, tune to a 1090 here and see what you're hearing. Let us know what you're hearing. If you have a frequency you want us to dial to, we'll definitely do that as well. I'm here on 1090 because it's kind of I use it now as kind of one of my beacon frequencies for Latin America. I can tell if Latin America is coming in well if I see certain activity on 1090. And let me zoom in here on my Jaguar software, and I'll show you what I mean. So this is my southwest wire, and you're going to see specifically this line over here and this line over here. These are known Latin American offsets. This one over here is 1089.976. This is my famous Peruvian Radio Vision in Peru. And then this one over here, I believe, is 172. That's Blue Radio in Colombia. So those are two very well, to me, in my area, kind of beacon stations that I use to see, am I getting good conditions into Latin America tonight? There's, I can't use Cuba here because Cuba comes in during the daytime here in Charleston, South Carolina, where I am. So that's, kind of not a good beacon for me. I can tell if it's, certain Cubans are a little louder, then maybe I have some good conditions. But if I'm really looking to push deep into South America, deep into Latin America, I look for this frequency for these two stations to see if I'm getting anything. So obviously your beacon frequencies, your beacon stations are going to be different depending on where you're located. If you're hearing Florida and you're, the New England states or up in the Midwest and you're hearing Florida, or Cubans or things like that, oh my gosh, I got a great Latin night. Not for me, that's daytime stuff, right? So I have to go a little bit deeper to look for that. So that's what these are. So you'll notice on my southwest wire here, both of those signals are pretty weak. I've got nothing really here on the Peruvian. I've got some broken up blue stuff here, even more broken up blue here on blue radio in Colombia. So that's, showing you on this southwest wire. Now, let me tell you anecdotally, when I was hearing the Peruvian and I was comparing my southwest wire to my south wire when they were both 12 by 48 feet or configurations, I was hearing the Peruvian better on the southwest wire than I was on my south wire. If you can understand that, I don't know. Now, that Peruvian is to my southwest, so it kind of made sense to me that I would be hearing it better on the southwest wire than I was on the south wire, because the south wire is more pointed directly at Cuba into South America, where the southwest wire was going through Central America and kind of hitting that west coast of South America. So in theory, yeah, this wire that I'm on right now should have a better shot at Peru than I would on my southern wire. Colombia would be kind of hit or miss here. Now they're coming up a little bit. The Peruvian's really starting to fade out here. The Colombian's coming up a bit into the green here on this Jaguar's display. So their signal is coming up a little bit. That's a little surprising because they're a little bit further south from me. That southwest wire does have a wide enough beam width that stations to my south should be coming in still. I still get Cubans on the southwest wire very loudly and Floridians and things like that. So it's not a complete laser pointer right at 250 degrees, but there's enough of a beam width there that I should be able to still see the Colombian, but will I see them as good as the southern wire? So that's what we're going to look at now. Am I seeing the Peruvian? Am I seeing the Colombian on the south wire? Let's take a look. Made the switch. Instantly, you see the peaks here popping up, and look at that color change. Now we're in orange and red. Now we're in orange over here on the Peruvian. The tube over on the YouTube chat. Again, thank you for jumping on. Appreciate you being here with us this evening. 1620 WDHP, great for reggae from the Virgin Islands, easy to identify. That's the beacon that we use up here in Ohio. We're going to tune there next. We'll see what we can see on those guys. So that'll be the next one we tune to. So yeah, you'll see here, I've got a nice red, yellow, orangey on the Colombian, and look at that Peruvian. I mean, we got some reds in there. Now, during the peak of the season when I had the Peruvian at this loudest, it was up in here. It was up in the highest, actually the loudest signal I could see on my band scope here. But, this is still probably not audible to me very well. Maybe some twinges of it. But at least that signal is coming in, and you can see the difference the south wire made on that. You'll also notice we picked up a new carrier here at 9853. I believe that's also a Colombian, if I remember correctly. 98... Possibly? Maybe not. Could be the Puerto Rican, maybe. 9854. It's a little low for the Puerto Rican. We'll take a look, though, and see if we can figure out who that might be. The signal's too low for us to get any audio out of right now, but... and you see the Colombian here is starting to break up a little bit. Let's actually go live on the audio and see what we hear. Yeah. You see here the abundance of signals here. Now, you'll notice a difference on the southwest wire. There's still signals there, but they're different ones. And now we're on the southern wire. We also are picking up a faint signal over here at .02. Let's see what anything on .02. I don't know if that would be Caracol. It's a little low for Caracol. So this is blue. This is Peru. Don't know who this is. Don't know who that would be. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. So you can see the difference in that southwest wire to the south wire. You can see it visually. You can hear it audibly as well. Again, I know this is not apples to apples. We're not comparing anything close to like, right? The orientation is different. Obviously, the size is different. Everything else, though, is the same. The gauge of wire is the same. The Wellbrook preamp is the same. The termination resistor is different. The south wire is on a variable resistor. The southwest wire is on a fixed 1,000 ohm resistor. But other than that, everything else is the same on those. The gauge of wire and the preamp, the amplifier is the same. But when you add 10 feet in height and 12 feet in width, right? 12 feet? No, it's more than that. 22 feet, sorry. Sorry, I had that wrong earlier. 10 feet in height and 22 feet in width added to this antenna. We're going to do the same thing tomorrow to the southwest wire. I'll be very interested to see what impact that has. So let's go up to 1620. Our friend The Tube here chatting with us, talking about going up to 1620 and hearing Virgin Islands. So let's see if we can hear them here in Charleston. Let's start on the southwest wire. We typically here get bombarded by the Cuban, Radio Rebelde. We do hear Virgin Islands as well, but really the Cuban is kind of our main station that we have here on this frequency. You'll see, though, there's 1620, Rebelde up here. The 5K station is also, I haven't put them on here on my log here, but they are in the log. So let's see what we got here on the southwest wire. Definitely Latin American, Spanish station, so probably the Cuban. I'm doing a parallel here. Trying to see that's Rebelde or not. I'm going to imagine this is Rebelde right here. This is probably Virgin Islands. Again, we're on the southwest wire. So looking at the offsets, I think my calibration's a slight bit off. I need to recalibrate. But I'm going to guess this one right here at right underneath the 1620 is probably the Cuban. This one here is probably Virgin Islands is my guess. So let's take a look now on the south wire and see what difference that makes. All right, just starting with the visual. Look at now. This potential Virgin Islands is much, much louder. Let's see if that equates. We also would have made the Cuban louder too, because we're pointing right at them. So one thing that I do here in Jaguar, again, this is the Jaguar Pro software made for the Perseus SDR. I will kind of double click here on the peak, the carrier peak that I want to really kind of zoom in on. Since this is in the lower area below the main carrier, which is 1620, since I'm below that, I move my sideband to lower sideband to try to get rid of anything that's above it. Not get rid of, but say change the tonal characteristics of what's above it. If when I tune in on that carrier and I'm in lower sideband, if the audio is pristine and it sounds like I'm dead on frequency, then I know I got the right one. I'm hearing what I see on the carrier. If it sounds like it's off, if it sounds like from the sideband perspective it's off a little bit, then I know what I'm hearing is probably above it, and I'm looking for that pristine audio to come through. So this little technique that I've kind of picked up here on some of these offsets. Now, there is a 10 kilowatt Argentine station on this frequency. I have not yet logged Argentina, but now with the 22 by 70 foot KAZ, that's Florida. The talk radio news is Florida, WNRP, Gulf Breeze.
Anécdotas, acontecimientos, hechos que fueron noticias y que hoy son historias. Rebelde, efemérides hoy.
Knew it. We get excited and it's rebellion. There's still another Latin station in there. And possibly an island music station. Let me do
Did you know you could shop around for prescription?
Stop. We're going to go now to the live stream of WDHP there in the Virgin Islands and see if we can hear what they're currently doing. So that will give us a kind of a clue to what to listen for. And if we hear what we hear on the stream also in our ears here, then we know we found them. We've got a nice parallel there. So this is one of the great things about the internet. When I first started DXing, this was not an option. So sometimes I forget that it's there as an option. All right, we got the ad out of the way. Reggae. Okay, I'm not going to play a lot of that because I probably just got dinged for copyright already. Let's see if we hear anything reggae-ish. I have salsa. So I know one of the Latins is rebellion. I'm dared to dreaming too much here.
hace 75 años de publicada la obra, esa famosa frase brilla su verdad para esos días.
Lo esencial es invisible para nosotros.
Pero la diferencia está en que ahora...
I'm trying to find a stream of the Argentine 10 kilowatt.
Y quién sabe si también la vida...
No eres infalible.
No te lo creas.
No te lo creas.
Mírate.
Cuídalo.
God can dream.
Son las 2:36 minutos en esta madrugada. Muchísimas gracias a quienes están soportando el cariño, el afecto, la bienvenida y la invitación para que nos acompañen para ir en voluntad, para la
I mean, there's not a lot of stations on this frequency. That helps.
Bienvenidos todos. Disfruten entonces de ese programa. Los entrenamientos es la habitual.
There's Florida. There's Florida on the southwest wire. You can hear how much louder they are, pointing right at Pensacola. Pointing right at Cuba. I think that was the auto gain control fluctuating there for a second. So I don't hear the reggae. I'm not hearing Virgin Islands here tonight. I have definitely Radio Rebelde in Cuba and another Latin station unidentified. Could be Argentina. Maybe not. Don't know. Let's see. Coaster 2301 Productions. Wish I could bring out my loop to North Carolina, but won't fit. I'm working on a portable antenna, terminated loop antenna that I'm working on designing and tweaking and playing with a bit that I think may be able to help you out someday on that. So stay tuned. I'll put it this way. I wish I had it when I went to the Outer Banks in February. I did have my little portable version of my W6L VP loop, which was great, but I wanted something a little more juice, and I think I might have put something together that might help a little bit. Let's see, is that one that we're hearing there, is that Rebelde? Let's parallel that to 620. I think it might be 550. Where's the 550 Rebelde? Go 530. Encyclopedia is all I'm hearing down there. I think 600 is Progresso. $620 is Rebelde. Yeah, that's Rebelde. The tube says, I'm pretty confident I'm hearing the stream match when I'm listening to your live stream and comparing. We're talking Virgin Islands? So I know the kind of ballady sounding Spanish station here is Rebelde. We've done the comparison on that to the other Rebelde station down on 620. There's a kind of a salsa sounding station in there. Coaster 2301. I'll be trying to get to know Weather Radio DX on the airplane. I'm taking to North Carolina with my unit and scanner. Won't interfere with any of the VHF airband freaks. I've found my loophole. It's receive only. Rebelde.
A esta hora,
See how loud the Cubans are here? Like, seriously, I can hear Radio Rouleau on 570 during the daytime. I can hear...
Nueva, trueno, relampaguee, en el aire, la señal Roberto.
Y ya nos disponemos a darles a conocer el pronóstico del tiempo con el especialista Ernesto Rodríguez Acosta.
I can hear 670 in Cuba and Miami daytime from here. And that's before I even put this big monster southern wire up. So you can tell these guys are kind of in my backyard.
Los vientos serán del sur en occidente y centro con velocidades entre 10 y 25 km por hora y en la región oriental continuarán variables débiles. Habrá poco oleaje en la costa norte oriental, así como en el sur de la isla de la Juventud y Pinas del Río.
If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions on where we go look, if you're DXing alongside with us, I hope that you are. Makes it more fun when people are out there DXing with us. So fire up the radio, tell us what you're hearing, and if you have a frequency you want us to tune to listen for, and see if we're hearing the same thing that you are. Let us know in the chat comments. We'll be looking over here in the chat, obviously, and interacting with you guys. So feel free to tell us what you're hearing. Ask us any questions. If you have any questions about the Jaguar software here. I know some of you guys are going to be unfamiliar with this Jaguar software. That's perfectly cool. I love talking about it. I love to evangelize this thing because it is fantastic. Again, it is a SDR program built specifically for the Perseus SDR. I know they're looking at potentially other SDRs to maybe add support for other SDRs, but right now it is only the Perseus. So, that's rebellion. There are certain things when you listen to these Cubans enough. I have a air check up on my YouTube channel here for Radio Progresso 640 with the full song that they play at the top of the hour, their kind of theme song, Radio Progresso. Nacional. It gets stuck in my head sometimes. Sometimes I just play that video just to hear it because I like to jam out to it. It's kind of fun because I'm a radio nerd through and through. Oh, wow, that potential Virgin Island peak there got real loud. So I'm still hearing the Rebellion in there, but I'm hearing a second station that's playing some salsa kind of Spanish. Sounds like either a female or a young man's voice. And all right, the tube, I think I hear what you're talking about. I'm hearing some bass thumps. They could be our reggae from Virgin Islands. Rebellion taking over again. To finish my thought from earlier with the Radio Progresso and their little theme song, Rebellion has one as well. If you're ever on a frequency anywhere on the AM band and you hear that little dun 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 dun, that's Radio Rebellion. And we heard it here a few moments ago. They have different versions of it. They have one that almost sounds like a whistle, and then they have one that's more like instrumental. But that dun 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 dun, that's Radio Rebellion. Radio Progresso has their little theme song. Again, go check out my ear check video of that to hear. And I actually heard it on a graveyard frequency here in Charleston. I heard Radio Progresso's theme song. And verified it was a Radio Progresso station, 1,000 watts out of Cuba. Heard them here. They took over the graveyard frequency, which was crazy. And then Radio Rouleau, the other big national network, obviously, you know, you're looking at the time pips, you're looking at the Morse code ID. And here you can actually hear the voices. So here's Southwest Wire, New Orleans. So we have a male and a female in Spanish. You hear the time clicks. I hear the French from Ontario. So there's your other tell for Radio Reload. The time pips. Top of the minute, you hear the boop, and then you hear the RR in Morse code. Coaster 2301 mentioned, in addition to some good VHF listening up there on Airband from planes, which sounds awesome, by the way. Confirmed plenty of Radio Reload stations from Western Iceland, among dozens of other Cubans. Yeah, there's a lot there. It really is. Sometimes, if I'm trying to verify that what I'm hearing is a Cuban, I'll go down to the Kiwi SDR that's located in Key West, Florida, and I mean it's right there, and it sounds like you're in their living room, and it's amazing. It's really great SDR. It's one of my go-to SDRs whenever I'm listening to Latin America stuff and I'm wanting to confirm a Cuban. Before I even go to the Cuban web stream, I go to the Kiwi SDR in Key West. 1620 WDHP confirm reception in Ohio. Will post on the AM DXing medium wave DX forum. Awesome. That's the tube. Good job, man. Nicely done. I thought I heard a couple of beats in there for a second, but so we've got Radio Reload here on 860 and 870. Very, very loud. You hear how loud they are in 870 here. And I thought I heard there's Radio Reload. There's another Spanish station in there. You hear the horns? I bet you that's who it is. Radio Mundial, 860 in San Cristobal. When you've been listening to these Latin stations, sometimes you hear tells that kind of give you a hint that it, and sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you hear it and you think, oh, I've heard that before and I think it's this, and it's not. But there's a tell that comes up in there and kind of points you to at least perk your ears up for certain things. And sometimes it works out. What I'm hearing on that station with the horns is I'm hearing in the vocals. The vocals are males with kind of like a multi-part harmony kind of feel. And the way the music is kind of structured, I've heard that kind of style a lot on Venezuelan radio stations. So I'm going to potentially say Radio Mundial in Venezuela is who we're hearing here with the horns. We can check that.
Radio Reloj. 2:50 minutos.
Jesús comunista Cabrera, responsable del partido. En la semana de discusión está el Congreso del Partido, delegado por la tierra del Comité de Trabajo, la número 1, dirigida por el segundo secretario José Ramón Alfredo Ventura,
hear that?
El Comité Nacional de la Unión de Jóvenes Comunistas aseguró que la juventud es la cantera única y responsable del partido y añadió que todo su funcionamiento responde al trabajo de la preparación para hacer el relevo. Continuará.
You hear that? That's Venezuela's live stream, Radio Mundial. And here is their live air.
Señaló que no solo es expresión de la lucha ideológica, sino que tiene mucho que ver con la defensa de la patria.
Recordó que fue en diciembre de 2018 cuando se masificó la tecnología monumental y significó que la batalla será en tiempo real con nuevas exigencias y tenemos que enfrentarlas.
Tienen que incluir correctos contenidos en las redes, acotó. Para ello tenemos una reserva de trabajo. Llamó a asumir la responsabilidad que toca para obtener mejores resultados fruto del trabajo en el activismo.
Hear the horns?
El jefe del Departamento Ideológico del Comité Central de Izquierda. En primer lugar, el activismo de los 2:52 minutos.
Let's do this.
Estratégico para la revolución. La preparación de los cuadros para asumir responsabilidades en el Partido Comunista de Cuba es un trabajo permanente, así como lograr su liderazgo constituye un asunto vital y estratégico para la revolución.
When I'm looking in South America, especially Venezuela and that kind of part of the world, my absolute go-to is a Kiwi SDR in Transworld Radio Bonaire. I'm going to pull them up right now, actually, and I'm going to share that on screen here with you guys so you can see what I'm looking at here and hear what I'm looking at as well, so you'll know what I'm talking about when I'm using this. So let me go ahead and let me go ahead and swap over to the Surface Pro 6. Mute that for a second. We're going to go to upper sideband. We're going to go to, we're on 860. Bonaire is right off the coast of Venezuela. So if what we're hearing here, those horns, is Venezuela, we'll hear it here for sure. And the delay is almost instantaneous. So I shouldn't have a big delay like I would on a regular live stream. I'm not hearing any more. Well, I'm still hearing horns in there. I don't think it's the Venezuelan though, essentially. A little bit in there, I thought I had them. So I'll show you guys when I'm talking about this Kiwi SDR. If you Google Kiwi SDR, it'll bring you this first result right here. Then you can choose, I usually use the map. Go to map. And you'll see all these online web SDRs now. Some are great, some are online, some are not online, some have really bad ears. The reception that they have is not great, especially for AM radio. Sometimes their HF is pretty good, but the AM is kind of not great. But there are some standouts. Pause this for a second. So I mentioned Key West right here. This is a really, really, really great one. It's fantastic for Cuba, as you would imagine. This one here in Bonaire is fantastic. I use it all the time. We were just doing it for Venezuelans, Colombians, anything I'm trying to hear that might be in South America. And then this one over here in Brownsville, Texas, if I'm looking at Mexico, this one right here in Brownsville here, is it this one? Or that one? Brownsville, there it is. That is my Mexico SDR. If I'm trying to hear to see if it's a Mexican station or something kind of out west Texas-ish range, I'll use that Brownsville SDR. So those are my three go-to SDRs: Kiwi SDR in Key West for Cuba and the Caribbean, Brownsville for Mexico, and Bonaire for at least the northern half of South America. I'm still looking to see what the best one is down here for like deep into South America. There are some of these that are here, but their ears aren't fantastic. So, I'm still looking. So I'll keep you guys posted on my Twitter feed when I find one for South America. But that's what I'm using right now for Central America, upper part of South America, and Mexico. Ontario's back. All right, so the Tube letting us know another good one to check out, 570 Colombia. We've heard them here before, and they are loud at times. So this is the Southwest wire. South wire. Still hearing some U.S. stations in there. I did have, I'm pretty sure it was Rhythm National earlier when I was kind of tuning around at first. I'm pretty sure I had them. Columbia is weird here in Charleston. I'll get them early in the evening, and then they kind of disappear for a little while. And then right around 4 o'clock in the morning, man, they come back with a vengeance. There's Rouleau again. About 4 o'clock in the morning, they just, 650, they wipe out WSM. It's I guess a little bit of a gray line enhancement as we're getting closer to gray line. During the spring winter time is when I usually see it the most, so maybe that angle's just right. I don't know. I haven't really looked at the maps to see, but they do pound in here pretty good in the morning, but and also in early evening. Not hearing them here now though. Potentially hearing a couple of U.S. stations. And it's important to note that with the termination resistor that I have in place right now on this Southern KAZ, the 22'x70 footer, the value that I have in place that was working really, really well in the mid-range of the band is not going to work as well or the same as the low end of the band. That's why these are so great. This is a Vactrol unit. This is a remote termination box, and basically what it allows me to do is I have a connector here that I use as a BNC connector on this particular one, and it sends 12 volts. You have a little plug here that you plug into an AC wall wart adapter, and you plug in your cable here. This goes out to a remote, to a little termination box, just like I have on right now, but it's designed in a special way to receive that voltage, and you can vary the voltage here with this box, and with that you can tune in and vary the resistance all the way out at your antenna from inside your shack. So this is a Vactrol. Right now my outside box got fried by lightning, so the person who made this for me, I'm working with him to get a new one. But yeah, this is, if I had this up and running, this would be what I'd be doing. I'd be tuning right here, trying to get that maximum null on the back side with the perfect resistance value. As you change frequencies, that perfect value changes. So that's why a Vactrol is a life changer when it comes to these KAZ antennas and flags and things like that. So looking forward to getting that back in the shack. That would make a big difference right now, I would think, from not hearing these U.S. stations that we're hearing on 570. The lower end of the band behaves completely different than that middle and upper end of the band. And when I did tune in the variable resistance earlier, I was on 880, which is another actually a good Colombian. Now New York has come back a little bit. Listen how loud that probably Progresso is. Yep, that's Progresso, all right. Oh, we missed it. Maybe we didn't. So that's one of the really great things about this Jaguar software I'll share with you is it's always recording 8 minutes of audio at a time. And so it just overwrites itself, you know, it gets done with the first 8 minutes and then it overwrites and starts another 8 minutes. And then it gets to the end of that and overwrites and does another 8 minutes. So if you're DXing along and you're like, ooh, I heard an ID, but I wasn't recording, don't worry about it. Go down, you hit the record button right here, and it'll now pick up everything that it already has and then everything from that moment on. It's an amazing feature. Every SDR software should have this. Come on, guys. Please help us out with that. That is a game changer. So what I was looking for there, I'm on 640 here. I've got Radio Progresso. I went, this little marker right here tells me this is either top of the hour or bottom half of the hour. And since I'm right here, I knew it was top of the hour. So I can then scroll back. I was looking to see if I had my Progresso music. Doesn't look like it. But right now I'm recording, and so this is finishing out what it would have done anyway with this 8-minute segment, and then it'll keep going after that with another 8-minute segment, but it's going to keep all of them rather than overriding it. One of the absolute, it's like having a DVR for AM radio.
Sigue con nosotros. Le agradecemos su sintonía porque para ustedes trabajamos, para que junto a nosotros pueda pasar una noche escuchando música cubana de ayer y de hoy con calidad, como debe ser. Según Félix Riera, Benny Moré y Roberto Fash fueron los dos primeros soneros de su momento. Fash dijo, era completo, bueno en todos los géneros musicales, y afirmó que poseía grabaciones suyas en más de 25 géneros y en todos era de primera. Por otra parte, en opinión de Helio Orobi, Fash fue uno de los intérpretes vocales blancos que mejor expresó los géneros musicales en que prevalecen las raíces africanas. En este mes de abril conmemoraremos los 55 años de la muerte del sonero mayor Roberto Fash, estando en la cima de la popularidad y convertido en ídolo de la juventud.
Sitting here for an ID from Progresso.
Damos inicio a este segundo segmento.
Now I know on the screen it says we're on the ELAD. We're not on the ELAD tonight. We're on the Perseus, and I can't get it to turn off.
Pecado de amor. Con la firma de Pepe Delgado, dueño de mi corazón. Y por último, del dueto Yáñez y Gómez, seguro que sí.
Man, if that's not Cuba, right? So yeah, I don't think they're going to play it. I was really hoping they were going to play the theme song here at the top of the hour. It doesn't look like they will. The other really cool thing here, let me go to... so I can... with that recording, if I change frequencies, it's also recording those other frequencies as well. So it's the full band all the time, right? 8 minutes at a time, and then overwrites those 8 minutes, unless I'm doing an actual, I've hit the record button, then it keeps all those 8 minutes. So I can actually now go back and say, what did I have on 680 at the top of the hour? Maybe the Puerto Rican? think that was PTF, I think. Nope. That's Atlanta, CNN. You hear the Braves.
And subscribe to Fleet Owner Magazine. Visit
.7 FM, 680 AM. Nice. And then I can go back to live by hitting the L. And now live again. Let's go back up. Let's check. We were looking at 1510 earlier to see if we could see our Ecuadorian. And I only had, let me turn that off before I get ZZ Top on me for copyright. We were looking for the Ecuadorian here on 1510. And we're on the south wire now, and Ecuador would be sitting right about 9893. It's too far. Probably right in this area, right in here is the Ecuadorian. Yeah, that's probably them right there, that red. I've got a huge signal here from Nashville, WLAC, who right now is playing music because they have a music guest on their show here on Coast to Coast AM. So we're gonna mute that so we don't get hit by the copyright bug, which probably already have it anyway. But once they get that done, there we go. See if we can phase them out. We tried it earlier. Couldn't phase them. And let's see.
I tell you, it goes through my head every night I get to do Coast to Coast. Somewhere along the line, I think, I'm nationwide. Billy Gibbons was on with us in that first hour, and if you didn't hear it, you can go back and listen to it, especially if you're a Coast insider. My gosh, you can
now,
through time. You can.
I will say, when I got Ecuador, I was on my AirSpy HF Plus Discovery using SDR Sharp software and their co-channel AM canceller, which completely eliminated WLAC out of the picture, and I could then hear Ecuador. It was unbelievable. It was the first time I actually played with that co-channel canceller. I don't have my AirSpy plugged in right now to an antenna or anything, otherwise I'd do it and show it to you, but it was pretty remarkable, actually. It was really, really impressive. But have no fear, we have a frequency right next to it, 1500, which here in Charleston is just basically WFED in DC. That's all I ever really hear here, even on the South Wire, when you would think DC should be in my null. But I've got this, let's see, 1499 910, I think is DC. Yeah, that's them. Let me see, do I have anything off to the side here? Because we do have a Peruvian that's been reported on this frequency that I have not yet logged, but people have heard, Radio Santa Rosa, 1499.75, which would put this right about here. And look at that, you have a nice faint signal. Let me go back down to my south wire here. We were on the phased wires. So on my south wire, they're there. They are weak, though. They are super weak. There's a little bit more coming out of them. But they're there. There's something there. We do have a couple of other I mean, that Peruvian's coming up a little bit there, hitting it. You start to see some red over there. now we have this peak here at 00100015-ish, starting to come up now. This is the DC station, WFED.
By the Iranians, but also by the other co-signers of the agreement, the Russians, the Chinese, and the European Union. So
Look at that. Who is that? So I'm on the southwest wire right now. Here's the southern wire. And the southern wire has DC because, again, the backside null's not dialed in. But the southwest... Again, if you are watching along with us right now live on YouTube, fire up your radio, DX alongside with us. We're keeping an eye on the chat. We've had some chitter-chatter over here in the chat already about 1620 Virgin Islands, and led to someone hearing it tonight there in their location in Ohio, even when I couldn't hear it here in Charleston, thanks to Radio Rebellion in Cuba overpowering us. So fire up your radio. Let us know what you're hearing. If you have something you want us to check out, see if we're hearing the same thing you are, pop it over there. Let us know. We'll be more than happy to tune over and see. Okay, so I've got a Tano style station. So my first instinct there is to look North America and U.S. To see if we have any Tejano Spanish stations like a La Raza or something like that. I have heard this Blues and Oldies just popped up here. KCLF, New Roads, Louisiana. I have heard blues on this frequency before. Interesting. It could also be Xenia, Ohio here to be BSI. There's a Radio Fe in Merkel, Texas. Hope I said that right. Merkel, Texas. 250 watts, though. Not looking good to be them. I don't see any other reported Spanish, Tejano, or anything like that stations. So here's the next thing I'm going to show you in Jaguar is the map feature. This is one of the deal breakers for me of why I love DXing with this thing. So I can actually go in here, and now I can just kind of look around, and I can say, okay, I have a Tejano station, so, you know, kind of a Mexican style music. Do I have anything down in Mexico? And you'll see that I do. I have XEDF, 50 kilowatts, and they are at 237 degrees for me in my location here in Charleston. And I'm on the 250 degree southwest wire, and that's where I'm hearing them. So this could very well be Mexico that I'm hearing. So let's take a look. They're gone for now. Yep, they're there. So we're going to go check our Brownsville Kiwi SDR. And the cool thing about that map, you'll notice when you look at XEDF, there are multiple rings, circles around it. This one has only one. This one has none. That tells you the power. The more ring circles you have around the little star, the stronger that station is. So I see multi-ring station here, and I know that's something a little bit bigger. So let's now see if I go down here to 1500. Oops. So I'm on the Brownsville Kiwi SDR right now. Okay, so right now he's got some Spanish talk. So we're just trying to parallel between this stream coming out of Brownsville and what I have here. And usually these are almost exactly dead on with no delay. Very little, like half a second to a second. That's DC. Can we get rid of that IBOC? They don't have a really good copy down there in Brownsville either. Maybe in there. They're also getting a U.S. station in here on 1500 down in Brownsville. Yeah, it may be in there. It's not anywhere near a point where I'd feel comfortable saying, yeah, that's them. We'd have to come back to it and give it some time. You'll also see there's a pretty strong station here in Costa Rica. TIRC. Radio Siba. 192 degrees. Haven't logged them yet. Haven't heard Costa Rica yet. Tube over on chat talking about 690 HJC, Bogota, Colombia. News Talk. Let's give them a shot, shall we? All right, so look at the lay of the land here. I've got a station down here in Jacksonville, Florida, to my south, WOKV. I've also got there's two high-powered stations in Mexico, 50K here, 100K here, XEN, that 237 degrees, and then W radio here in 35K out of Bogota is at 167. So if I'm going to hear them, it's going to be on that south wire. Let's go over and let's look at our offsets. What do we have offset for Colombia? We are going to say roughly 690.0037 is what we're seeing now as a kind of reported offset for them. So with that in mind, let's look on our offset scope here. 690.037 is right about here-ish. Now I do have this one here at 4.5, and we have one down here at 1.4. This one at 4.5, 4.4-ish could be them, could be. So let's take a look and see what we hear.
Won their first game in New York City during the 2021 season. They open up the series
US. You want to see if we can phase them out? Let's try it, shall we? The unfortunate thing is, you hear that Latin station, right? It's Progresso. It's the Cubans again. I've got a wall in Cuba, especially on this south wire, because I'm pointing right at them. That's about as much as I'm getting out of them right now. I'm pretty sure that is WOKV in Jacksonville, the sports talk. And you'll see here by 4.5 is just shot. I moved to my south wire off the face. And yeah, this signal here is just, if that would be them, is not coming in. So this is what I would qualify as for Charleston, a poor Latin night. Yeah, I wouldn't call this a great Latin night at all. Let me actually do something and look. here really quick. Well, we should be hitting something. Our A index is at 19, K index at 5. So A index is an indicator of kind of what's happening with the auroral conditions. The stronger your auroral conditions, the more dampening you get to signals in the northern, closer to the poles. The stronger that is, the higher that A index number is, the further away from the poles and further south that goes. As you would, if you're seeing the aurora in Chicago, for instance, the northern lights in Chicago, you have a dynamic auroral conditions, and all of your stations that are contained within that area underneath the aurora are going to be absorbed into the atmosphere and not heard to the south. So here, where I would normally hear, Chicago or New York, I would hear not those, and stations to my south would be enhanced. So when you hear about auroral nights, that's really what's kind of going on. So A index is a great indicator of that. It's something that you can find online. There's multiple sources. So I have links on my website, dxcentralonline.com. You can find solar condition information on my links area. But A index right now is 19, K index is 5, and what I've always been told is A index is what's going on now, K index is going to tell you what's coming. So a high K index number, we're talking anything over a 3, 4, 5, or higher like that, is telling you that A index number is probably going to continue to go up a little bit. It's going to tell you basically what's coming. I think it's 4 hours or 12 hours. Anyway, it's an indicator of what's yet to come in the future hours. So a K index of 5 tells me that 19 A index is going to continue to go up a little bit. If it was down at like a 1 or a 2, we're going to see the A index drop, right? I don't know how accurate that is. That's what I've always been told through the years by DXers, what I've read in various sources, some books on radio auroras and things like that. So I assume it's pretty standard, but that is also like 1990s science. So I'm not sure if anything's changed since then. We have 44 sunspots, which actually is not bad. We're seeing more now than we were recent weeks. Our solar flux is a 77, which is kind of low, but I would expect to see that with 44 sunspots creep up a little bit. Maybe not. If we can get our sunspots back up into the 50s and 100s and get our solar flux back up in the 100, 120 and higher, it's not going to be great for AM radio. It's going to be much better for FM and HF radio, though. What we're looking for in AM radio is low sunspots, high aurora. That's what we want to get Latin American stations. And right now, decent at 19 and 5. So we should be hearing some Latin stations. And I'm seeing them there. They're just not punching through that Cuban wall. So I would call this poor conditions for me, personally, just because I can't punch through Cuba right now. Now, earlier in the evening, maybe it was 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30. No, not doing it. So with that being said, I think we're going to call it a night here on the live stream for tonight. So next, we're going to go tomorrow, and we're going to put up the other KAZ antenna, the new 22'x70 foot KAZ northeast-southwest wire, which will give us a nice apples-to-apples comparison for Southwest and South tomorrow night or Sunday when we do our next live stream. So stay tuned to our Twitter feed. You can find out more information on our Twitter feed when we're going to be doing these live stream broadcasts. Just twitter.com/DXCentral. Be sure you follow us there. And also don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel right here, so you can be updated on more of not just these live streams, but our other videos that we do as well. So here's what you do. All right, so like the video, if this has been helpful for you, we appreciate the likes. It helps us out. Leave a comment. Talk about what what you thought of the video. Was it helpful? Was it not helpful? Was it interesting, intriguing, whatever? If you have questions, leave questions. I'm more than happy to answer those as well. And don't forget to hit subscribe and the bell icon so you can be notified whenever we go live, whenever we have new videos coming out. I'm working on a new video right now today and this weekend on the KAZ construction. So I was shooting that today as I was putting the KAZ together. We'll do some more video tomorrow on it. So we'll be putting that together on Sunday, putting the video together. Hopefully can have it out Sunday evening or Monday, the KAZ construction video, so you guys can see how I put everything together. As always, my friends, it's always so much fun, these live streams, getting a chance to sit alongside you. It's almost like we're in the shack together, DXing and kind of bouncing off of each other. So thank you for that. Thanks to our folks who were in the chat this evening, chatting with us, and to all of you for viewing, whether you're viewing live or on the replay. Thank you so much for your support. We have grown this channel in less than a year, almost a year in next month, from nobody subscribing, no one even knew who we were, to we're approaching 300 subscribers now and continuing to grow very fast, pretty regularly. So we're trying to get our subscriber count up. So if you have some friends that like to DX and DX AM and FM radio, be sure to tell them about the channel, send the link to them so they can come over and subscribe as well. We appreciate your support. And that's going to do it for tonight. I'm getting pretty tired. All right, my friends, take care. 73 Best of DX, and we'll catch you next time right here on DX Central Live.